Everything you read on running is based on studies carried out on a treadmill in a lab. But of course this makes sense because studies on running gait needed to go through ethics testing in order to be published. In order to go through ethics testing, you needed a clean data set. In order to get a clean data set, you needed to be able to control the environments in which that study was concluded. The best way to do that was to ensure that the results couldn't be skewed by external factors, such as wind and rain. So a treadmill within a lab ticked all those boxes. So the majority of running coaches seem to gravitate to teaching running form using these machines. It's the exact same when you try to buy a new pair of runners. You are either put on a force plate to measure your ground reaction time, told you have a collapsed arch or flat feet, or they get you to jump on a treadmill to try out your new stability controlled shoes. This practice does not allow for runners to move like a human should naturally move. Too much of this biomechanics is taught out of a book. And so they now all look and move too mechanical. They look tense and robotic, and they just don't look dynamic in their movement. They don't show the beauty and grace of those Olympic runners on TV we see. So when it comes to running form, we are being served. And as a result, we are ourselves serving a diet that was not even based on how our species moved when placed in a room on a machine. A machine that requires most of us to put more effort onto staying on than actually replicating the movements required to efficiently propel you forward. Those are the studies we rely upon. The ones we are teaching our coaches. The ones that the papers and the textbooks and the courses and the coursework were largely based upon. The ones that told us how to run. Is it any wonder then that the results are encouraging you to be mechanical in your movement? What about when you get off the treadmill and start to run outside? What about when you need to twist to get out of the way of an obstacle, step over a tree root, sidestep your way past someone else, or deal with a rocky, muddy, or undulating terrain? Surely all of these factors will affect our movement. I truly believe that there must be another means to study the best way for us to run. You look at all the studies of mammals in the past, and we have learned that studying a species in its natural environment gave you the maximum chance of understanding it. Imagine trying to study a killer whale in a tank at SeaWorld, when every day they are fed by humans and taught how to perform, and then use that data as an indication of how Free Willy naturally behaved. We need to look at running humans as a species and how us as a species first intended how to move in order to understand how to coach movement as a skill. Now, these answers do not lie in the dusty corners of a library or in papers published on the internet. For me, that data is skewed. You have to shift your mindset from that of a student to that of an explorer. After all, Indiana Jones did not find the Temple of Doom sitting on his ass reading some old dusty books. You need to start to explore all about moving and running as our species was intended to move. No longer coaching using secondhand techniques. So start to become your own scientist with your own movement and your running. Ignore what the textbooks say. Ignore what those treadmill coaches say. Ignore the social media doctors and start to unearth your natural born potential as a runner to get you running faster, further, and pain-free. Drop a comment below if you need any help with this, and we will get you running the way you were designed.